This is Caitlin, your host of the NoSleep4Dramas podcast, where we get no sleep and survive on coffee to watch just one more episode at night. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the NoSleep4Dramas podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin. It's October. We are in fall. It's getting colder. Well, I'm in Chicago. It doesn't feel like it's getting colder. It's still like 80 degrees outside. It's like crazy. Due to the fact it's fall, due to the fact it's October, we all know what October means. It means we like scary, we like spooky. Here's my little history when it comes to Halloween. I do not like Halloween, mainly because I do not like being scared. I know that's really weird to say, given the fact I watch a lot of crime dramas, but I do not like monster stuff. It's taken me a really long time to decide what I can watch and what I can't watch. And for example, I'm pretty good with zombie stuff now. I love Kingdom. I love Train to Busan and things like that. I'm fine with most crime stuff and thrillers and whatever. The only thing I really cannot handle is ghosts. And possession specifically. I have not watched some of the scarier ghost Asian content. For example, The Wailing, or I think it's called The Cursed. It was a Korean drama from 2020, I think. I can't do possession stuff. That's where I cross the line. Normally, when October rolls around, what I usually like to do is, instead of doing scary per se, I kind of fill the month with crime and thriller stuff. Now, going forward, the podcast is probably going to be all crime and thriller, but in the past, I've kind of dabbled in like romance stuff and whatever with the blog, so I kind of picked October to be the crime and thriller month. In the future, that's not really going to be the case, so I'm still going to have to like kind of theme it, but since we haven't really made that change yet, October for the podcast as well as the blog is going to be have more of a crime, thriller, maybe a little scary, but not really. Because I feel like the reason I do this is, for me, which is ironic because, as I said, I do not like getting scared. I do not like being scared, which is why I do not like Halloween. And as I've gotten older, I think I've gotten better with what I can watch that does not scare me anymore. For example, Kingdom. I would never have been able to watch Kingdom and appreciated Kingdom as much as I do now 10 years ago or something, maybe even 15. When I was a teenager, I avoided everything horror. Now I'm okay, I can deal with some stuff. I still will avoid a bunch of other stuff, like American content. The Saw franchise. I have never seen the Saw franchise ever, and I will never. Final Destination franchise. The only reason I've seen the first movie is because I was forced to, because it was the only thing to watch on like a 10-hour bus ride. And I sat through it with everybody else. But then there was that show in 2019, 2020, maybe it was a little earlier, The Haunting of Hill House, I think it was called. I also was forced to watch it, but I ended up liking it because it turned out not to really be a ghost. It was still scary in parts, specifically this one part that I won't spoil or anything. But overall, the story is not a ghost story. It's like a family story, which I loved and I ended up liking a lot. And the person I watched it with hated it because it turned out to be a family story and not just a straight up ghost story, because they loved horror stuff. So as I've gotten older, I can watch a lot more things, but I still cannot deal with ghosts and possession stuff for the most part. But like monster stuff, or I've seen a lot of the classic slasher movies like Halloween and things like that. But the more present day horror movies, I still will refuse to watch because it's just way too scary for me. I just can't do it. But the ironic thing about it is I can watch crime things up the wazoo. Like, I've seen Criminal Minds multiple times. I have watched practically every crime Asian drama every classic crime Asian drama you could probably think of. There's still a bunch I have not seen that I want to. It's really hilarious how what I'm scared of and what I refuse to watch, I like cherry pick. And so, for the most part, with people in general, for people who love horror, love whatever, I can't provide that for them because, for the most part, except for Kingdom, except for Train to Busan, except for the zombie genre, I can't really provide horror stuff for them because I hate watching horror stuff like The Wailing, for example. But what I can do for October is highlight crime dramas and highlight thrillers because I feel there's also people who do not watch crime dramas and do not watch thriller stuff because they are scared from that as well. And for me, I'm totally okay with that. So it's hilarious just because I have a lot of people who are like, okay, you hate horror stuff. You can't watch this, but yet you can go and watch the most horrific serial killer drama imaginable and be totally fine with it. And I'm like, yeah, for the most part. I still have not really pinpointed why it works for me. I think part of it is I grew up watching crime stuff. From an early age, I was watching Bones. I was like 12. I was an early teenager and I was watching all of the American crime shows while I was eating dinner with my family. And I still remember I was not supposed to see this movie, but I somehow saw The Sixth Sense when I was like 13. I don't even know. I was young and my parents did not want me to see that movie. And I secretly saw it with my cousin who put it on and then fell asleep and didn't turn the channel. So I watched it. I was scared out of my mind the entire time. And now I can watch that movie fine. It's just like, it's weird. It's really weird what I can handle, what I can't. So for this October, I'm highlighting some of the crime thriller dramas that I have always wanted to talk about, and I do mention a lot. And I'm finally getting reviews out to some of these dramas I've been talking about for years and just have never done anything about them. So you're getting, as you know about the title, you're getting a review of a Taiwanese crime drama today. Later in the month, you're going to get a list of crime and thriller dramas that I would recommend to watch in October if you are not one of the crime thriller watchers and you want to change it up and scare yourself for the month of October. So look forward to that. If you want to see reviews of crime and thriller dramas on my podcast or another list or something, DM me, let me know what you want to see. I can maybe put it into like the pool because, as I said, in the future I plan to kind of switch gears and really highlight crime and thriller dramas on this podcast because that is my bread and butter and I'm always watching them, and I feel like that is a niche that is not really covered a lot in a lot of podcasts. Like, either there's everybody just kind of just watches romance dramas because that is the popular genre and maybe dips their toes into crime stuff, or they like never have them, like never watch them and never highlight them. Or they do and that's all they watch, like me. So I want to be one of those podcasts where you can go if you want to try a different genre, you want to find somebody who watches your same genre you love to watch. I mean, I get DMs of people like, can you please watch this drama because I love it, and I have never met anybody else who've ever watched this crime drama. And I'm like, sure, I'll put it on the list, whatever. So if you are that person, please DM me what you want reviews on. So yeah, that is kind of the plan for this podcast. I'm still gonna probably talk about romance dramas if I watch them. Like, I've just realized, especially this year, I'm just not a rom-com person. I mean, specifically rom-com K-dramas. Japanese dramas are a different story, but like Korean dramas, I don't know why I try, because I always drop them. So I've just decided I'm not going to try anymore. And I'm just going to gear more towards things I like and things I want to talk about and things that people might not talk about in general. But that's not why we're here. We are here because it is October, and I'm going to talk about the Taiwanese drama, The Victim's Game. I have been talking about this drama for years and promoting this drama for years for people to go and watch it. And so this review is very much overdue. Now, we've had 2 seasons of this drama because the second season aired this year. So this review is going to be a review of both seasons. I'm going to do both in one review. How that's going to work is I'm not going to really do spoilers on it because I really don't want to spoil this drama for everybody. I'm going to talk more of like what I liked about the drama in terms of themes, in terms of major concepts, and what I disliked about the dramas. So I'm not going to spoil much. I will still probably put a spoiler warning when I get to what I like and what I dislike just in case, but I'm not going to go scene by scene through the dramas and say, oh my god, like when they revealed this person did this type of thing. I'm still going to do a spoiler warning because I wrote this review a couple months ago after season 2 ended, so I'm not 100% sure if I didn't put story points in somewhere, but I know I didn't do, okay, in episode 5 of season 2, this happened, I hated it. Like, I didn't go that detailed, but I'm still going to do a spoiler warning just in case, because I don't quite remember if I didn't put any spoilers in the body of this review. Because I wrote this, it's on the blog. I'm going to release this blog review the same time I release this review on the podcast, so you can go and follow along on the blog. You can listen to this and then go there and get the links to where you can watch this. So this review is also up on the blog as well. Now, I have been promoting this drama, as I said, from 2020 when it aired. And this came out of nowhere for me. Like, I didn't even know this was being made in 2020, and then all of a sudden just dropped, and I was like, this is amazing. This is so good. I wish more people watched it. And then we didn't hear anything for like 3 years on this season 2 at all. And all of a sudden we started getting promotions of a season 2 last year. And I was like, I can't believe it's happening. Oh my God. And then we got season 2 in 2024. So I'm going to review both seasons. Again, overall, what I like and what I dislike, overarching themes, may touch on individual things, but I don't quite remember if I do. The goal of this review basically is just to let people know this drama exists on Netflix and people checking it out, because I really need people to check this drama out. And so if you like crime dramas and you've never, like, let's say you like crime Korean dramas and you've never watched a crime drama from another country, this would be a good option for you. Or if you are interested in checking out a crime drama and you've never watched one, this would also be a good option for you. This is why I kind of want to do these reviews on this podcast and kind of turn this podcast into a crime thriller adventure type. Sprinkle in some other stuff, but that's majorly going to be the theme of my dramas, because I want to give people opportunities to find crime dramas they can try. That might be like a list I might do in the future is crime dramas you can watch that aren't scary, or crime dramas that are more on the comedy side. That is what I want to provide with this podcast, is I want to give options to people who might want to dip their toes into crime dramas, but know they can't handle gory crime dramas or things like that. I will say, this is a detailed, gory crime drama. Is it scary? I wouldn't say so. Like, it's not a scary crime drama, in my opinion. Like, Voice Season 1, I think, would be scary for people. This, not so much. It's still a crime drama. It is hands down still a crime drama. But it's like, I don't want to spoil anything. So it's like, it's an emotional crime drama. And I'll explain that when I get to my spoiler section. Quick synopsis of both these seasons. The first season is after discovering his estranged daughter's link to mysterious murders, a forensics detective on the autism spectrum risks everything to solve the case. So that's season 1. Season 2 is a forensics detective is embroiled in a series of deaths, becoming a prime suspect. The incidents link back to a murder case he responded to 15 years ago, all while trying to establish a relationship with his estranged daughter. So, as I said, season 1 came out in 2020, and season 2 came out this year. If you listened to my episode last week, I was talking about the Korean drama Doubt, and that drama is coming out this month, and it's about a profiler who discovers that his daughter might be linked to a crime that he's like a killer, serial killer case. He discovers clues or something that points to his daughter maybe being involved. And I mentioned this setup reminds me of the Victims Game. And as you can see from the season 1 synopsis, that's pretty much the season 1 synopsis, is like you have this forensics guy who has an estranged daughter, and he, while investigating these series of murders, discovers clues that his daughter might be involved. So that's pretty much the same setup. And I just thought that was really interesting when you it's a Taiwanese drama versus a Korean drama, and there's differences, because in Victims Game, the main character is on the spectrum. To my knowledge, Doubt, the father, is not on the spectrum at all. As I said, season 1 aired in 2020. I was so glad that we finally got a season 2 in 2024. Now, season 1 didn't end on a cliffhanger per se, but like it definitely had story still left to tell, and I'll get into that, like what that meant. So I was expecting a season 2 because, as I said, you still had story to tell. Did I know when that was happening? Did I really anticipate it taking 4 years to make? No. But I also didn't think we would get it in 4 years either, knowing how Netflix work. Like, this is a Netflix original. Like, it was made by Netflix to go on Netflix. As far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but as far as I'm aware, Netflix made this drama. I could be wrong, honestly. I did not actually look it up. Knowing Netflix and knowing their reputation on the fact that, I don't know, it could take forever for them to make something, I was surprised that it took so long, but at the same time, I wasn't. I also was surprised I honestly somewhat was surprised we were even getting season 2 too. I don't know. It was a weird thing. I don't know. Yeah. The surprising thing about this too is I had never really seen Netflix do a Taiwanese drama before. The fact that this came out and I was like, oh, this is what Netflix is doing in Taiwan. Oh, wow. Was amazing. And I mean, any Netflix drama that I've seen come out of Taiwan has been amazing. There's like 3 or 4 of them that I've absolutely loved, and I wish they made more of them. Due to the fact I knew season 2 was coming in 2024, I actually rewatched season 1 this year, because I hadn't watched it since 2020, and I actually had forgotten some of it. I rewatched season 1 and then I watched season 2, and I did end up liking season 1 a little more than season 2. I gave season 1 a 9 out of 10, and I gave season 2 an 8.5 out of 10. I wish season 2 had made some different decisions in their story and like different decisions on how it handled some of its characters. But overall, I still think this drama series is an amazing crime drama series, and more people should watch it. And I've said that a billion times. I've also said this a billion times about this drama, and that is, it is so much more than just a crime drama. I'll explain that below, but like, if you go into the Victims Game thinking like, okay, it's just a crime drama, you're going to be completely surprised. I will say there are many trigger warnings for this drama. You get violence, you get gruesomely detailed crime scenes. When it comes to how they set them up and how these people died, they show it. It's not necessarily scary, but it might be hard to watch due to how detailed these crime scenes are. and also how detailed the autopsies are. So trigger warning for violence, gruesomely detailed crime scenes and autopsies, and also suicide. There's a main, specifically in season 1, a little bit of season 2, you have a storyline, a major storyline of suicides. If you can't handle suicide, major trigger warning for this as well. It was really nice revisiting season 1 and this series after 4 years in 2024 to watch season 2. I was really happy I rewatched season 1. I was really happy we got a season 2 in 2024. Now I'm going to introduce the show with like the cast and everything, and then we're going to move into spoiler territory. So this is The Victim's Game. As in season 1, you have the star is Joseph Chang. You might know him from Nowhere Man, which I think is also on Netflix. Then you have Tiffany Sue. What has she? She's been in Shards of Her, which came out in 2022. That is also on Netflix as well. Another prominent actor in this is Jason Wang. The only thing I've ever seen him in is Victim's Game. So, I mean, you would recognize him if you watch Taiwanese dramas, but like I can't think of another drama I've seen him in. In the movie though, he was in Your Name Engraved Herein, which is a extremely popular, really like I need to watch this movie, but extremely popular, supposedly gorgeous Taiwanese movie from 2020. And then you have Ruby Lin, who is like a very, very famous Taiwanese actress. She produces, she directs, she acts. Like she's been acting for years. She's in Light the Night, which I'm currently watching, is another very good crime drama. She was in Copycat Killer from last year. That's also on Netflix. I'm trying to think of who else is very prominent. Moon Lee plays the daughter. She is a Taiwanese actress. You might remember her from Oh No, Here Comes Trouble from 2023, or Wacko at Law in 2020. Okay, so that was season 1. In season 2, somebody else that joins the cast is very prominent in that cast is Dean Fujioka. He is a Japanese actor, but he shows up in Taiwanese dramas all the time. And he showed up in Victim's Game season 2, which is one of the reasons why I was so excited to watch season 2. What has he been in? He's been in so much. He was in May I Blackmail You from 2017. He did Count of Monte Cristo Great Revenge from 2018. What else? Just You from 2013. Like, he's done so much. And Just You was a Taiwanese drama, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Just You was a Taiwanese drama. So he's been working like in Taiwan and Japan for years. In Fujioka, he showed up in season 2 as a prominent character. And then I would say Terrence Lau is also prominent in season 2. You might know him from At the Moment, which is a Taiwanese drama that aired in 2023, and that's on Netflix. It was like an anthology drama. What else from season 2? Like in season 2, of the people like Joseph Chang, Tiffany Sue, Jason Wang, they all came back for season 2. Chang Sai-sin, he plays one of the side cops in both seasons. He's very good. Like if you've watched any Taiwanese dramas, he is a prominent support character in Taiwanese drama land. He was in Triad Princess, that's on Netflix. That's a comedy, like a romance comedy. He was in Taiwan Crime Stories from 2023. I don't even know. Marry My Dead Body. He was a support character in that movie. I think that came out in 2022. That's a crime, sort of a crime movie in a way. I still need to watch that. I think that's on Netflix actually. Anyway, so those are some prominent characters that you'll see in both season 1 and season 2. As I said, I already said the synopsis. Season 1 is he's investigating a crime and forensics detective discovers that his daughter is involved somehow. And then season 2, 15-year-old crime comes up again. He becomes a suspect. He has to figure out this crime while establishing a relationship with his daughter. What else? Okay, so we're going to move into spoiler territories. Just in case I mention something that happens or reveals something, I'm just going to put a spoiler warning because I don't want people to be spoiled on the crimes or the story of this, really, because I want you to go into this drama as blind as possible, especially story-wise. You can still talk about themes and major themes about this without revealing much, so I don't think I've revealed anything, but I'm just going to do a spoiler warning just in case. So this is your spoiler warning. If you want to go check this drama out, it's 2 seasons. I want to say each season's 8 to 10 episodes, so it's not even that long of a season. So this is your spoiler warning. Okay. First, we're going to move into what I loved about this drama. Both seasons. I'll name what I'll talk about is I'll talk about major themes, but I'll say, hey, in season 1 it was this way, in season 2 it wasn't, or hey, in season 2 I loved this theme. It had a lot of common themes that spanned both seasons, but each season might have shown it differently. That's how I'm going to kind of cover these. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the father-daughter relationship. As I said with both synopsises, a major story arc through both seasons is his relationship with his daughter. We have a father who is on the autism spectrum. He pretty much, in what I can tell, is he has Asperger's, really. And you'd think, going into this, I was really worried with season 1. I was like, oh man, I don't know how they're going to do this and do it respectfully and well and, believable. There's a lot of problematic things that could do with that. And when you have a character that is dealing with a disorder like this, especially acted by somebody who doesn't have this disorder. And so it's there's so many things that could go wrong in terms of portraying this. And I had so many ooh, do I want to watch this drama? Because if this goes badly, I will hate it. Because there's been times in the past where shows try to do this or try to portray any type of disorder, really, and they've done a horrible job and have gotten the backlash they deserve. Both Western TV as well as Asian dramas too have done it poorly. So going into this, I was like, ooh, I don't know how I'm going to do with this, but I want to try. It was amazing. It was so good. Joseph Chang plays the father who has Asperger's, and he did an incredible job. I think what this drama did well is, yes, the male lead has Asperger's. And so they portray that well. They portray how he interacts with the world, how the world interacts with him, how he develops relationships in general, but that's not the topic of the drama. That is a side story. The topic of the drama is the crime going on. And I think they just, to take that route and still highlight this man who has a lot of things going on personally, as well as personally in his life externally, like the relationship with his daughter, dealing with that, but also dealing with crimes. The balance of that was just so well done and just highlighted everything they should highlight for a drama that is showcasing that type of character and having those type of themes in a drama. They did it beautifully. And I'll explain why they did it beautifully and also other things. So the father-daughter relationship was a highlight for me in this, because in season 1, you're introduced to the relationship and learn about their past together, what the male lead did to protect her in the past and the present. And then season 2, when she now lives with him or around him in his life, you see the relationship take a big leap. You see their attempt to build a relationship that they never had, but also learn more about each other by building that relationship. And they learn to coexist and eventually kind of grow to appreciate each other and their company in their own unique way. Because the fact is, he has Asperger's. There's only so much he can do to have a relationship with his daughter. And I think season 2 did that so well and portrayed that so well that they found a space that they could have a relationship in their own unique way, and they found that way, and they found that coexistence that worked for them and showed that they cared to have whatever relationship they built. And it's not your typical father-daughter relationship. It isn't, but it works for them. And it shows that through season 2, it shows that they learned what worked for them and learned that they wanted to take the steps to find what worked for them. So that I just like their relationship through both these seasons, from not knowing anything about each other in season 1 to how they ended up at the end of season 2, was such an emotional journey, because it kind of filled in when you have that type of journey going on against the horrific crimes that are going on, and you find these small pockets of time to show that relationship and to show either how stressful it was or could be, or them finding a common ground against this horrible crime that he's investigating. It is just, there's some type of like beauty about that balance and about that juxtaposition that I thought was done so well in especially season 2. In season 1, like, that's a completely different relationship, but especially in season 2, just that balance and the conversations they had was very much needed. It really showcased what was beautiful about the father-daughter relationship and what was needed in season 2. It definitely took some outside advice and reasoning to make them have this relationship and make them arrive at what they ended up with at the end of the season, because they had to go beyond their own assumptions and prejudices. Both he had some assumptions and she also did. It wasn't just her dealing with her father that had Asperger's. It was him also making assumptions and also having these prejudices about regular people in society, that they both had to have separate conversations with separate people and overcome their own thoughts and come together and try to have their relationship. And I liked how they used this relationship to mirror societal issues and conversations that were needed to have about these issues. Because it was conversations about their relationship, but they used that opportunity to talk about things that needed to be talked about in society today in general. They used their relationship and these conversations to approach those issues. You got to see how their relationship changed from throughout season 1 into season 2 and drastically in season 2. And I just thought that was a delight to watch. And even though the male lead has Asperger's, you can tell he still cares for his daughter and still is trying to make an effort in his own way. And then in season 1, when he's trying to figure out if she was or was not involved in this crime, you could see that even though she was estranged and they haven't seen each other for most of her life, he has this like unconditional love for her because he just cannot accept the fact that his daughter might be a criminal, which works in their favor and in their relationship when it comes to season 2 or the end of season 1, because she knows this by season 2, and the fact that like he never gave up on her when he was investigating these crimes. When she was younger, that might have been a different story. They had to talk about that, really, but through season 1, when he was trying to figure out if his daughter was involved or not, everybody was, you might have to accept the fact that she was, and he just could not. He could not accept that fact if it was true or not. I think what also highlighted too is it was revealed eventually why they became estranged, and it was really because he left after a very dangerous incident that happened with his daughter, and he felt that leaving was the better option because he thought he would be the danger to his daughter. It was his fault, but it wasn't his fault. Like, he didn't physically harm her herself, but like the environment that he provided for her to grow up with because he loves his job. He is obsessed with his job. And so he brought his job home in terms of like forensics and chemicals and things. And an accident happened with those chemicals, which caused his daughter to get severely injured, possibly could have died. And he just could not deal with the fact that that was because of him, that he had brought these chemicals home. She, being young, she was like 3 at the time, got into the chemicals and almost died. And he just couldn't live with that. He's in his mind, he was like, it's better if I leave because I don't want her to do that again. I don't want to put her in that danger. And he left because he saw himself as the problem. In season 2, they had to talk about that. They had to overcome those types of conversations because I don't think she really knew that either. So she lived with her mother, and then eventually her mother passed away, which she never seeked out her father after that. That was also a major conversation in season 2, is like overcoming that trauma as well. There was just a lot of past history in season 2 that they needed to talk about and needed to talk through, and that caused a lot of groundbreaking conversations within their relationship that allowed them to move forward, or at least get to a place that they could coexist together. The way the story broke this relationship down and really revealed those types of things throughout season 1 and into season 2 was masterfully written, because they didn't give the entire story, the entire thing, in one episode or anything. They broke it up, and how they put those in and revealed little by little, commenting and helping with the crime that was going on in that season, was really well done. Really well done. Another thing I loved about this, which I kind of mentioned already, was the important and societal issues that were discussed. I've mentioned many, many times with the Victims Game that they discussed a lot of important and societal issues and examined a lot of important and societal issues in both of these seasons. And I think Taiwanese dramas in general do this very well. And I've said like Japanese dramas do the same. Like I think dramas in general as a platform can do this very well, where they explore societal issues of present day that's going on, or just ones that are common across no matter where you live, and they use their platform as a way to discuss them. But being the fact that there's a lot of important societal issues discussed, there's also trigger warnings that come along with that, such as suicide, mental health, mental illness, violence, and then the usual goriness you get from a crime drama. But like suicide and mental health talk, especially in season 1, is a major theme and a major topic in season 1. So it was very much needed to be discussed, and it helped a lot with the story and the themes that were discussed within the crime. But trigger warnings go along with that, you know? I think the Victims Game does a very good job bringing those issues up and discussing them. They discuss these issues, as I said, in a very respectful way. And they even bring up stereotypes and discredits these stereotypes. They'll bring up a topic and say, well, stereotypically, it's this way, but in actuality or in reality, it's actually this way. I thought that was really well done, that they kind of bring up the stereotypes and kind of just stomp on them and say, that's not actually the case. And the issues, as I said, don't take the viewer out of the story because they're woven into the story. The drama also highlights these issues, makes them a major part of the story, and then also provides resources for people either in the story. They'll literally have somebody say, well, you can call this phone number if you're suicidal. Or at the end, they'll say, if you have ever thought about this, please call this number, please, whatever. I think they handled this in the most respectful way you could think of, and they execute it in a very impactful way when they are discussing these issues. And I think that's what's so surprising about it, is because you go into this drama and you're like, I didn't expect how well done these would be talked about and these would be discussed. And then they did it, and I was just so surprised when that happened, because it could have gone a completely different direction and could have been horribly done. Along those same lines too, I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The fact is, because these topics were so well executed, you can tell the production team cared about this drama. And so when I love a drama, I seek out bonus content. And when I watched Victim's Game, I watched the interviews about the Victim's Game. And what's great about season 1 is if you stick around after the credits of the drama, you get to watch interviews with the cast and crew. So they'll answer questions about how they went about building a certain scene in that episode you just watched, or their thoughts of coming up with a character on what they did in that particular scene and that type of thing. And in one of these interviews, multiple crew members talked about their thought process of bringing this drama to life, and they touched on the fact that they debated even doing the drama at all because they knew this drama would be bringing up a lot of tough topics, and they didn't want to harm the audience even more by like bringing up these issues. So for example, a trigger warning is for suicide. They didn't want to do a major storyline on suicide and then have a bunch of people who were dealing with suicidal thoughts watch this drama and then something happen, you know? The fact that they even voiced that in their interview and they even thought about it and they even debated not making this drama because of that, to me, shows that they had a serious thought process when it went into this drama. And it also showed that they cared about what people got out of the drama. Because ultimately, they decided that the topics were too important to not make the drama, but they did their research. They made sure that they did their research, that they wanted to portray this drama or characters or topics in the most meaningful and respectful way possible while making it realistic and impactful. They were conscious about the message that the audience was going to get from the drama. They were conscious about how these characters were being portrayed, specifically like the Asperger's or the characters that were suicidal or even the crime victims. They wanted to make those. One of these interviews was how they built the crime scene, and they had to portray some really detailed crime scenes. And they were like, okay, how can we make this look as realistic as the picture that you would see in like a crime book? So people who might have a criminal justice background will be like, wow, this is very realistic, but also be respectful to the victim that we are portraying. Like, to watch these interviews and after watching this drama's episode and getting more context of what you just watched was incredible. It was so good because it just like, it made me care about this show even more and want to promote this show even more, because you saw how hard this production team worked and cared about it and thought about it before they even made it. So it showed in the interviews, but also showed in the drama itself on what they were portraying. And you were like, wow, they really put their time into this and really wanted to portray something special with this drama and get their message out that they wanted to show and get those important messages out to the audience. Another thing I appreciated was the acting. Honestly, as I said, when it was announced that the male lead of this drama had Asperger's, I was really hesitant how this drama would portray that. And I think this drama did a really good job portraying that through the male lead. Like, Joseph Chang does a fantastic job portraying Asperger's, but also making the audience still connect and resonate with him. The rest of the cast does a great job acting through both seasons as well. And you cheer on the father-daughter relationship. Your heart aches for the daughter and her story through the 2 seasons. But I think the highlight of this drama is Joseph Chang's character and his unique portrayal of a man who is seeing life through the lens of a man with Asperger's and dealing with crime, dealing with office politics, dealing with his daughter and their relationship, dealing with possibly dating. It definitely, the story is definitely wrapped around his character in both seasons, and that's why he is the highlight of this drama. But his acting is so believable and so well done that it stands out. It stands out so much in this drama. The acting overall is fantastic, but he's a real standout. The other thing I liked about this is the growth of the characters from season 1 to season 2. I think because we got 2 seasons with these characters, you see some major growth with multiple characters from season 1 to season 2. And then we even got growth within the seasons itself, as I was saying with the father-daughter relationship. Within season 1, we see Joseph Chang having to bend and work with people when he really would prefer being alone. He has to bite the bullet and actually work with somebody else, and he's not used to that. He likes to work alone. He has his own process. He is a boss to other people and doesn't really know how to do that. He has to learn through season 1 and season 2, but really season 1, how to work with other people. He also has to accept he has a daughter and fight to get through to her and start their relationship. We have a reporter played by Tiffany Sue, who at first is for herself and no one else. And then she needs to start having this relationship with Joseph Chang to work with him. And eventually they form a friendship. In season 2, they continue that friendship, but it might turn into something more. That was a whole character change. In season 2, these characters, like the Joseph Chang and Tiffany Sue's characters, like they need to navigate a possible romantic relationship, but also deal with the fact that Joseph Chang's character has Asperger's. They need to grow and navigate this relationship, as well as him having a daughter who is now living with him in season 2. It's their relationship and her character grow from really kind of a selfish character at the beginning to not only having this friendship and possible romantic relationship with the male lead in the second season, but also kind of becoming a pseudo mother without really asking for that. And I don't think her character in the beginning of season 1 even saw her ever becoming that. And then the daughter too. The daughter grows up being alone in the world, taking care of herself, to having people there for her and then trying to support her. And she grew to accept her father and grow to accept that they can have a relationship and start to build that relationship. But she also grew to being able to live with people and in society, not on this cusp of society type of lifestyle she was having in season 1. We got found family from the father-daughter, the cop boss, Joseph Chang's character, and then Joseph Chang's character, Tiffany Sue, and the cop boss in season 2 also became like a found family. Even like the cop boss from season 1 did not get along with Joseph Chang's character. And he really becomes his friend and confidant in season 2. Even that relationship grew, and the cop boss is played by Jason Wang. In season 1, they disliked each other. Specifically, Jason Wang disliked Joseph Chang's character. Joseph Chang's character couldn't care either way. Cop boss did not like him. Like, he found he was very difficult to work with, very difficult to talk to, and their relationship grew from he learned to trust Joseph Chang. He learned to trust his instincts. He learned to not think of him as a crazy guy just walking around the cop shop. Like, he learned that he actually was very good at his job and he needed to listen to him. And then in season 2, he became more of a supporter of him because of his daughter and wanted him to have this relationship with his daughter and became that kind of humanistic confidant where Joseph Chang could go to him and say, hey, I want this with my daughter. I don't know how to do that. Like, what do you recommend? To see even his growth from season 1 to season 2, personally as well as relationship wise, was a huge change. Another thing that was a highlight of this drama or dramas was the story or cases. What I loved about both seasons of this drama is like the case or story are not what they seem. So the drama pulls you in one direction where you make assumptions and you think you have things figured out. And then the drama throws a curveball and you're back to like square one again, not knowing anything. The cases really keep you on your toes. The drama also uses these cases, as I said, to talk about important societal issues. They bring the emotion as well. Like, I cried multiple times in both of these seasons just because they were so touching. Like, the audience can relate to these cases very much so. And there's something in the drama for everybody to kind of connect to, whether that's like a father-father relationship, a father-daughter relationship, to any type of female, like family relationship, really. Discussion of suicide, mental health, like there's something to relate to in both of these cases. And the story and the cases kind of grab you at the very beginning and take you on a ride and don't let go. They're very different in both seasons. Season 1 has a very prominent thing about suicide. Season 2 is a possible suicide, but maybe murder. But you also have like corruption wrapped in. But then you also have like this case that brings up the idea of friendship and family. It's a very different case, both seasons, but some of the themes with both cases are the same. Another thing, and the last thing I'll highlight, is the OSTs and the instrumentals. I love them. They are addictive. They are really, really, really good. The OSTs are addictive. The instrumental of this drama also supports what's going on the screen very well. Like, the instrumental brings that emotion and heightens those suspense and action scenes that you always want in a drama. You want the music to support and provide that extra emotional oomph to a scene, to a story, that type of thing. The twists and turns of this story are done beautifully, and then the music that goes along with that adds to it, and the OSTs are beautifully done. Like, some of my favorites I've listened to. I always love talking about the music of dramas because I think if done well, they can really be a highlight for a drama. Now we're gonna move into what could have been better. Again, these are highlighting 2 seasons, so there might be a little more than I normally talk about, but also there's, hey, only in season 2, it might be a little more individualistic when it comes to what I did not like. There needs to be another season, honestly. It's very clear. The first thing that could have been better is it's very clear the production wants to do a season 3. It, again, as I said, season 1 doesn't end on a cliffhanger. Season 2 also doesn't end on a cliffhanger. But both endings do introduce topics and characters that a season 3 could explore. In season 1, when it ended, you're like, okay, that's like the perfect way to end it, like whatever, but there's also still questions or things I would like to see. Can we get a season 2? Same thing with season 3. It's like, yeah, that's a great way to end it. I could totally be fine with his ending. And yet, there's this little thing that happens, and I'm like, okay, I want to know more about that. I want to know more about this character who kind of did this weird thing at the end of season 3. What does this thing mean? It's very clear that production wants to do a season 3, and they definitely have a lot they could do with season 3. They have enough story that they could do season 3. Would I watch a season 3? Absolutely, because I love this drama. We'll have to see if it's actually made. Hopefully we don't have to wait 4 years for season 3, but like we did with season 2, but we'll have to see. I'll wait. I'll still watch it, but hopefully we don't have to wait. Another thing I wish didn't happen is I wish season 2 did not attempt to do a romance. Like in season 1, we have the reporter Tiffany Sue's character and Joseph Chang. They met in season 1, became friends, figured out this case together. In season 2, you could tell they were definitely more than friends, trying to be at least. I loved their friendship in season 1. I like their companionship in general. I don't think the romance works. It just seems a little forced to me and kind of wedged in the story because it's like, okay, well, they've been friends all this time. We have to have them have a romance. I just wanted the found family and I wanted friendship. I didn't really think romance was needed. I think they had a few good conversations in season 2 where they talked about problems in their quote unquote romantic relationship and what needed to happen, specifically dating a person with Asperger's. It was nice to have those conversations, but I think you still could have had those conversations by just being friends. I don't think you needed to add romance into the mix to have those conversations, you know, because I don't think the romance was needed to have those conversations. I think you could still have these nice conversations and romance didn't need to be there. So it didn't 100% make sense with what occurred in season 1. It didn't like 100% not make sense because I think the writers were just like, okay, they've been friends, what is the next step? But it's not going to be a full romantic relationship. It's never going to be that. And I think friendship would have just been the better option without adding that bigger complexity that they really didn't need because their relationship is already complex. I don't really think season 2 needed it. Another thing I think could have been better is deeper conversations. I think season 2 had some missed opportunities when it came to this type of thing. The father-daughter relationship was highlighted in season 2, but I wish it was highlighted more. There were so many great opportunities to have deeper conversations between the father-daughter, Joseph Chang, and his daughter's relationship in season 2. And while they did do some of it, I don't think they did enough. And they didn't take all the opportunities they should have. A lot of things seemed kind of skimmed over or not talked about in favor of the crime that was happening. You even had some missed opportunities with a deeper discussion between Joseph Chang's character and his character expressing himself more and his thought process of dealing with everything between both seasons. Even if he would open up a little more and talk about with some of the cop friend or Tiffany Sue's character or even his daughter, there was some missed opportunities where he could open up more too. So I wish they had used those opportunities more. They did, and I liked that direction, but I wish they went further into it. Also in season 2, I think some of the actors were really underutilized. Either they were brought in and not used well, or they were giving a lot less screen time in season 2 than they got in season 1. For example, one of the major reasons I watched season 2 was because I love Dean Fujioka, and I was so excited to see he joined the cast for season 2. After season 2, though, I was like, wow, he was very underutilized. His character really annoyed me in the beginning of season 2, and then also just was magically redeemed, which I didn't really mind because I wanted to like him because I like the actor so much, but his character could have had a deeper story, could have had more context to him. Now, if we get a season 3, hopefully that happens and hopefully he comes back for season 3. But I think bringing him in and then not using him to what I thought could have been a bigger role for him than what was actually given was a missed opportunity. And then I think Tiffany Sue took a big backseat in season 2, which I did not like at all. I think it was good she was there because she still had some really nice conversations, specifically with the daughter of Joseph Chang. But she was very underutilized, in my opinion. Very underutilized in season 2. And the last thing I'm going to say is pretty much anything I'm going to say when it comes to crime dramas in general. This drama is difficult to watch. I've said this before, I'll say it again. It has many trigger warnings: mental illness, suicide, gory crime scenes, autopsies. It's going to be difficult for people to watch. It's important for people to watch, given the topics discussed, but it's going to be difficult. I mean, it's also a crime drama. As I said, very detailed autopsies, very detailed crime scenes. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea at all. So this drama, I will admit, is not for everybody, and maybe would even turn some people off from even checking this drama out because of all the trigger warnings. That's fair. That's totally fair. But I really, really hope some people give this drama a shot, because it's so much more than just a crime drama, and so much more than just like what you would expect at all. Ultimately, I gave season 1 a 9 out of 10, and I gave season 2 an 8.5 out of 10. You can watch both of them on Netflix. Both seasons are like 8 episodes. They're not that long. Ultimately, I did like season 1 a little more than season 2. Even though this was the case, I think both seasons of this drama are worth checking out. You definitely need to watch season 1 to watch season 2. You would not understand specifically the father-daughter relationship. You won't understand the context if you don't watch season 1. I really hope more people check this drama out. Now that I have a review out again, season 1 aired in 2020. This review is really, 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 really late. It needed to be out in 2020. I know this drama might be difficult for people, and I understand that. The production knew this. That's why they did those interviews. That's why they provided context. I just want more people to know about this. It's a wonderful, wonderful crime drama. It's a dark crime drama, but it's a wonderful crime drama. Also, I don't see a lot of people talking about Taiwanese dramas much. Anytime I can highlight a Taiwanese drama too and get more people to watch Taiwanese dramas, please do. I will always take that opportunity to provide you with that. And if you are into Taiwanese dramas and you haven't checked this one out, and you can handle trigger warning filled crime drama that is beautifully done, you're really missing out if you're not watching this one. Again, because it's just so much more than a crime drama. It talks about so many important issues and portrays found family and familial relationships beautifully done, just absolutely beautifully done, and has such an important message that a lot of people could probably relate to in some capacity. And that's why I'm doing this review, finally getting this review out. If you have watched this crime drama, please DM me. Please let me know what you think about The Victim's Game. If you go and watch this drama because of my review, please let me know what you thought of the drama after you watch it, or what did you think of this review? Do you like this style where I don't really give a lot of spoilers? Do you want more of an episodic style and format? Let me know what you think. But that is my review for The Victim's Game season 1 and season 2. Again, if you go and watch this drama, please DM me and tell me what you think. I cannot say enough of how good this drama is, and how I hope we get a season 3. I hope it doesn't take forever. I just can't emphasize enough that if you can get past some gory, detailed crime scenes and some autopsies and some really heavy topics, you will appreciate this drama. I mean, it depends on you. I just did not realize how much this drama would impact me when I clicked play, and I just want to make sure other people experience what I experienced with this crime drama. Again, season 1 I did like better than season 2, but season 2 is not a horrible drama either. I gave it an 8.5. Anybody who knows my rating know that's pretty high for me. Anything below a 7 is bad for me for my ratings. So that's my review of The Victim's Game. Please let me know what you think if you have watched this drama, or if you go and watch this drama after listening to this. I hope you enjoyed this review of this Taiwanese drama. Welcome to October. We're going to be talking about crime dramas the entire month. I'm very excited. And thank you for listening. Bye. If you want to continue the conversations about dramas that were started in this episode, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter under the username NoSleep4Dramas. That is no sleep, the number 4 dramas, just like in the title of the podcast. This podcast is also an expansion of my blog, so you can visit my blog at www.NoSleep4Dramas.com, the number 4 dramas.com, and find multiple years of blog posts already available at your fingertips. All links are in the description of this episode. This has been an episode of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and I am your host, Caitlin. I will see you here next time, and I hope you get no sleep chasing the next episode just like me. Good night.